Bire mazak wuro nogong. Morowia kopmanoro tijit ningai.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. A place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
Yeah, some are we born on the hills, some on the low coastal plains. Plenty rice and sugar cane, same Guyanese blood in our vein. So make we burn out the hatred, time for erase it. Can't make that destroy. Six race I share the same space in this 83,000 square miles.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
Brother is a brother, no matter which religion is you. Could a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu. Sister is a sister, real and true. One big pot of culture brew.
And all of we together could really make this dream come true. Of a brighter Guyana for me and you. Ocean to mountains, hear this tune. Take it cool.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. My love runs deep like a beautiful rivers for Guyana. Oh, and when we stand as one, mighty like Mount Jerima.
And a very, very good evening to you guys, and welcome to the Diaspora Connected. For tonight, we are certainly delighted as always that you're joining us here, and we want to say thank you very much. We want to encourage you to share the video, share it on your timeline, share it, send it in a message to your friends, invite your friends to join us, invite them to share our video also, and let's have a good conversation tonight. It's certainly a pleasure being here with you. I certainly appreciate you guys joining us this evening. So thank you very, very, very much. And yeah, so if you haven't shared the video already, I want to encourage you to share it. If this is your first time, if this is the first time that you're joining us here on the Diaspora Connect, we want to say welcome, and we talk everything, all the current affairs and political issues. We discuss them here on the Diaspora Connected. So I'm certainly delighted that you are joining us tonight. Share. Sharing is caring. So remember to share the video on your timeline. Share it in a message with your friends, and invite your friends to join us here on the Diaspora Connected. Ossie Rodgers is my name, and I am, again, certainly delighted that you're joining us. Thank you to our friends over there at Caribbean Showtime in Canada for streaming us live. Thank you to our friends in New York, Sky TV New York, for streaming us live. And of course, Daybreak News and the Guyanese Critic platform. Thank you to the folks these platforms for the work that they put in every night to make this program possible. Once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me acknowledge a few people before we get into our program. Let's say hello to Barry Sanichara, hello to Anil, Jairam, hello to Shirley Singh, Joey, Rick, Molly, my nephew's watching us from Linden. Hello to you, Lorraine Prashad, Eon Gill. Hello to Rion Peters, that's my brother over there on region number 5, West Coast Berbice area. Hello to you, hello to your family, and thank you very much for joining us. Raymond Suku, welcome. Danny Passad, welcome. Soma, welcome. Joycelyn Bishop Hussein, welcome. Already got a message there from her. So we'll try to read some of your messages also. I'll promise you that tonight I'll try to read some of your messages, some of your comments. And like I told you guys many times on this forum, we welcome criticisms, we welcome comments, whatever, you know, we welcome it here. This is a dialogue between you and us. So we are very, very delighted that you're joining us, and when you're taking your time out to make comments. My very good friend Dario McLennan, my friend from way back from nursery school. I think we went to nursery school in Linden together. Hello to you, Dario, to you and your family. Welcome. Hi to Joycelyn. Hello to Amrita. Hello to Greg. Hello to Mina Budram, Arjun, Omar, Ronnie, Abdul, Anita, Omadat, Parshram, Basdio, Mina, Samantha, Mohammed, Marilyn, Manga, Shirley, Bolts, and so many other people. And I'll continue to acknowledge you guys as we go along. But to our technical guy there, the last screenshot that I sent you, if you can put that up on screen for us, and we'll start our discussion right there. Remember, guys, like I ask you again one more time, I'm going to encourage you to share our video and let us have a very good conversation tonight. So if you can bring up that first screen, the last screenshot that I sent you, I'm doing. If you can bring that up for me, and that's where we're going to start off our conversation tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing a screenshot here of a program that was held last night on GlobeSpan. And on this program, the moderators for this program, they're my friends, Professor Charles Sugrim, and of course, Dr. Rose. They're my friends. We work very close together in New York, and I compliment them on their platform and bringing these programs to you guys. We don't always agree on content. We don't always agree on things that come out on the program. However, the respect that we have for each other surpass any of that, and that is what you do as professional journalists, if I could say that. As professional journalists, that's what we do. We don't have to always agree. Our comments or criticisms, they're not uniform. They're not in subject in one way or anything like that. So we have our issues. I mean, we have some, from time to time there are issues, and we discuss them. And sometimes we agree, and sometimes we agree to disagree. Mr. Dr. Rose calls me from time to time, and we talk on a lot of issues. Charles Sugrim, we talk less than myself and Dr. Rose, but we still communicate, and I respect them and their platform. However, ladies and gentlemen, they had a guest on the program last night, and this guest chose to, first of all, to attack your president and your government. And I was taken aback by some of the things that were coming out of the gentleman's mouth. His name is Dr. Shamir Ali. He's a former ambassador to Kuwait. And the first thing that struck me is that for an ambassador, for an ambassador, a person who, an ambassador is supposed to be someone who goes out there and represent the country. And even if you cease being an ambassador, you cease performing the duties of an ambassador, you still carry that in your own self. In your own self, you still carry that. That's why you see some people, even though they may not be ambassador, they go out and they say, listen, I'm an ambassador to my country, because you're proud. And you go out there and you defend and represent your country. You always speak proud about your country, and you always in every situation you seem to put your country in a good light, without lying, of course. Being an ambassador does not mean that you make up things as you go along and you bend the truth and that sort of thing to look good. We understand that. However, this gentleman, Dr. Shamir Ali, went on this program last night and started to bash. First of all, he bashed our president. He said that he bashed our president for wearing the Kuwaiti garment when he met with members of the Kuwaiti government, I think, when they came here. Our president, he likes to he likes to dress. When his emancipation, you see him in his emancipation gear. When he wears all kinds of things, you have to accept that. So once the Kuwaiti was here, he dressed in a way that like the Kuwaitis, and this gentleman, Mr. Ali, attacked. He isn't connected to the president in any way. They're not family. As a matter of fact, his last name is spelled A-L-L-Y, and our president's last name is spelled A-L-I. Right? So they're not family or anything like that. But this gentleman went on to attack our president and talk about, our president. The Kuwaitis saw it as a mockery because our president dressed as a Kuwaiti on that day, and I was very upset about that, because you cannot as a diplomat, you claim to be a well respected in the Middle East, and you're telling me that you find our president dressing in the Kuwaiti, well, I don't know if it's their national dress, but certainly they all wear that kind of garment. So if it's not, please forgive me. But our president dressed like that, and you have an issue with that, right? But then he went on to, and this is a contradiction of this gentleman, and for the entire program, I've listened to him, and for the entire program, I'm hearing someone who is very contradictory, because some of the things he's saying at one time, then he goes right back and contradict that. And I'm asking myself if this is the type of representation we had when this gentleman served as ambassador to Kuwait. And we're talking about Dr. Shamir Ali, in case you guys didn't know. This is the type of representation that we had when he served as ambassador in Kuwait. It is for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, that I need to point out to you, he said it himself, that he was appointed by former Minister of Foreign Affairs, then Minister of Foreign Affairs, Carl Greenidge. He was appointed by Carl Greenidge, and they gave him 1-year contract at a time. And they themselves, the Alliance for Change, AP and UPNC coalition, terminated his contract. So they themselves get rid of him. And one would want to ask yourself, why did they get rid of him after appointing him as ambassador to Kuwait? If this gentleman is all that he seemed to chalk up and all that he seemed to say about himself. And all I saw there on that program is someone who is seeking attention for employment. You see, first of all, Dr. Ali, and I'm speaking to you directly, former ambassador to Kuwait. When you go on these programs and you seek to attack our president, you seek to attack our vice president, you seek to attack the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and you also attack the Charge d'Affaires there in Kuwait. I see it as a bit of jealousy when you attack the charge of affairs because you're hoping that you should have been there. And all I see is a man presenting a flawed resume, given a platform, and mind you, it is no secret that they were all those guys there were AFC people. Charles Sugrim, Dr. Rose, and of course, Mr. Ali. And all I saw and this is my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, all I saw is 3 AFC guys helping each other, or helping this 2 AFC guys helping this 1 AFC guys to get recognized. Because most of the things that Mr. Ali brought out on that program, and make sure that you understand, I'm talking about Shamir Ali, brought out on that program, most of it can be fact checked, and he can be proven wrong. All right. So some of the points I want to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, is as a former ambassador with such a prestigious position, why would you want to speak that negatively about your country? Why would you want to attack the people who are now serving? But I want to say to this gentleman that he is claiming, ladies and gentlemen, that the Saudis and the people in the Middle East, these government officials and members of the royal family in these countries are speaking to him directly about issues relating to Guyana at this present moment. And as far as I know, and I'm no expert on diplomacy, but as far as I know, diplomacy does not work like that. Diplomacy works government to government. All right? Diplomacy works government to government, and when those people in the host country, which is Kuwait, as we're talking about Kuwait, they speak directly. There's no ambassador there. There's a charge of affairs there. They speak to the charge of affairs, and that information is brought to Guyana, and that is the diplomatic channel that is used for any communications between the government of Guyana and the Kuwaitis. Subject the Kuwaitis we're talking about, or any other government in the Middle East. So that is how diplomacy works. Diplomacy does not work government to non-entity. Diplomacy does not work government to person who's trying to seek employment. Diplomacy does not work government to former ambassador. It does not work like that. Diplomacy works government to government. So once we get that out of the way and we understand that this gentleman is claiming on this program that these people are talking to him about all these issues as it relates to Guyana. And if you haven't seen that program last night, you want to view it, you can go out and view it for yourself. First of all, this is my personal opinion, I see a person who is bitter and is attacking our government and our president and members of the cabinet and people who are serving this country because of bitterness. But you have to remember that it was not Irfan Ali, His Excellency, who terminated your contract. Your contract was terminated by the same AFC, APNU government that you form part of. As an AFC man, one of the most prominent AFC supporters and AFC members, they themselves see it fit to terminate your service as an ambassador to Kuwait. So you have to ask yourself why, and you have to tell the Guyanese people why they themselves did not have confidence in you continuing in that position. They are also, when you come on these programs, sir, and you seek to attack our president and members of our cabinet and members in our diplomatic circle who are serving this country, you have to make sure that you don't have skeletons in your closet. And Mr. Operator, if you could bring up the Kaitro News clipping and put it on the screen there for us. Just let me know when it's up. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is sorry, I have a little bit of delay, so please work with me there, Mr. Operator, and you, our viewers. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing on the screen is I'm trying to get it so I can read it for you. Just give me 1 second. Bear with me there so I can read this for you. Right. So what you're seeing on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen, is not what... Why am I not seeing it? Yes, this is not what I am seeing here. What you're seeing on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen, is a news article from the Kaitro News dated September 7, 2016. And the headline reads, Guyana appoints convicted fraudster as Kuwait ambassador. So you see, when you come out and you start to swing and you start to attack our government and start to attack our president, you have to be careful because there are skeletons in your closet. So you have to come out, Mr. Shamir Ali, former ambassador to Kuwait. You have to come out and tell our people about your background. And why would the Kaitro News print such an article about you? And what was the reason for you to be considered? It is alleged that you are a convicted fraudster. So come out and tell the people the truth. Let us know why. And I think I can see already, because you know, when we talk about when you listen to fraudsters, most of them, they are very good in speech. And I listened to this gentleman last night. I had an opportunity to hear him today. And I have to admit and accept that he's well read. He's well read. He is very good. Comes across well. But fact-checking the gentleman is a different story. Fact-checking the gentleman is a different story. And con men, that's how they operate. So, it was Kaitro News on the 7th of September 2016 who broke the story about Mr. Shamir Ali as a convicted fraudster. And it's the same Shamir Ali that was on television last night on the Globe Span program bashing your president and your government. It is the same Ali which I question. Why would the Kuwaitis be talking to him? This man paint a picture as though it is all about him in the Middle East. And he is even bigger than Guyana, because the Kuwaitis just deal with him. And from the time the Alis left Kuwait, everything went south. That was not his exact words, but that's what he's saying. From the time he and his wife left Kuwait, the diplomacy fell. There was nothing. Everything is bad now about the Guyana government as it relates to Kuwait. And they're talking to him. He has back channels and people are telling him this and telling him that. But the people, which I doubt that that's happening, because like I said, it's alleged that this man's a fraudster, and I'm seeing signs. And I know that those reports in the Kaitro News, if they were not accurate, they would have been dealt with already. Glenn Lau would have faced yet another lawsuit if those information that was brought out by the Kaitro News was incorrect. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to point out a few things that I want to say about this gentleman, then we'll move off. One, that he seemed bitter. He seemed very bitter that, someone else is serving in that position. I see in my eyes. And if you look, I'm not saying you need to go look at that program, but if you want to, it's all fine. Go ahead. And all I see is someone who is making a job application via that program. There were also allegations made against Mr. Ali, Shamir Ali. I want to make sure that y'all understand. Shamir Ali, the former ambassador to Kuwait. There were also allegations. There it is alleged that allegations were made against him about his dealings in the Middle East. There were some things that were not right in the Middle East. Hence the reason that his own political party recalled him as ambassador. They put him on a 1-year contract. They didn't never give him a 5-year contract or 2-year contract or anything like that. They put him on a year-to-year contract. And they themselves, according to his admission, make sure I get that right, in July of 2020, they recalled him as ambassador to Kuwait. Why did they do that? If you were such an upstanding citizen and you were doing such a good job for Guyana, why did your own political party fire you as ambassador to Kuwait? This man is a known AFC member. He himself admitted that he had no foreign policy background or anything like that, but he was appointed, his appointment was political, which is okay. But I cannot seem to understand for the life of me why high-ranking government officials in another country will be speaking to Mr. Ali as it relates to the foreign policy agenda of the Guyana government at this time, when he was fired by his own political party. And according to a friend of mine who I spoke with, they said that this man, he served a few years. His political party fired him, and he's history. We shouldn't be discussing him. But some of the things that he said last night on that program caused me to be spending so much time talking about him. What I want to ask Mr. Ali also is, why didn't he, as an ambassador, address, he said on the program that based on what he observed, that was based on for the 2020 elections, based on what he heard coming through the channels and what he saw in the media and the voice of the world-renowned observers, he knew that President Irfan Ali was duly elected as president. But your political party was continued to carry a different message. And as an ambassador, you did not speak out against it. And as a former ambassador now, so let's say that your feet was tied because you're trying to maintain, you'd hold on to your job or anything like, well, you were already fired anyway. You had no official government position. So why you as a former ambassador, even though you admitted last night on Globespan program that you know that Irfan Ali, His Excellency, won the elections of 2020, but yet still you fail to speak out against your own political party speak out against your own political party who carry. As an AFC member he is, your political party, the Alliance for Change, carry the message of the PNC APNU coalition which they form part of. And they continue up to today to say that the elections were rigged in favor of the PPP. And you have a different position, but you're not coming out, you came out publicly and say you believe that, you believe the results of the elections. But you never criticized it. Why didn't you? Why didn't you criticize? You had an opportunity to criticize it there. Now, if you're looking for a job from Irfan Ali, that's one of the first things you should be doing, Mr. Ali. I spoke about it already. This man seemed as though that entire program was all about promoting him. It had nothing to do about promoting Guyana and speaking nicely about Guyana. It was all about him and his wife. Him and his wife. Him and his wife was the best thing to Kuwait after sliced bread or whatever they eat over there. But I'm not going to spend more time on him. You know, he is an opportunist, clearly, and based on his oral arguments last night, I can see that it's an opportunist who was looking to get a job. Even someone mentioned, why don't you just reach out to Irfan Ali directly if you're trying to get a job? That was one of the comments in there. So another thing I want to point out is that in that same speech last night while he was talking, and we're going to move on from him after this. I know you guys are probably getting bored hearing me talk about this person who has no official role in any government or anything was put aside by his own political party and is currently, as far as we know, a convicted felon that is unemployed. Full stop. Serve as ambassador. So I know you're probably going to be asking yourself, why are we spending so much time talking about this guy? Why am I spending so much time talking about this guy? Because he attacked our government. He attacked our president. He spoke about he said that the Kuwaitis saw it as a mockery that our president wore their garment. I think our president, and I cannot speak on behalf of our president, I do not purport to, but I think our president do that as a mark of respect for those people. He wore the garments of the Saudis, and he said the Kuwaitis saw it as a mockery. However, he also attacked the charge affairs for some function she attended, and she did not completely, allegedly, she did not completely cover her body as a Muslim woman is supposed to do. So he criticized her for what she wore, and he criticized the president for or he criticized her for not wearing Muslim garbs, according to him, but he criticized our president for wearing Muslim garbs. Those were some of the contradictions that I spoke about this gentleman, right? Someone said here, he failed to tell the public that the current regime wants nothing to do with him because of his dishonesty. Not only his dishonesty, I think also not only because of his dishonesty, but it's because of his alleged conviction as a fraudster in the United States. Because if it's one thing you can talk about there, finale, his hands are clean, and he's trying to have people with clean hands around him. So, Mr. Ali, while you were, talking up there for a job, I think that your background says a lot, and Kaitro News pointed it out in September 2016. So, why he is a diplomat, why he is the only diplomat that agreed to go on Globe Span when practically all the other diplomats that were contacted refused to go on Globe Span show. I could answer that. Someone posed that question. I could answer that. Why he was the only one? Because he's an opportunist looking for a job, and he seemed to be out there trying to tout his own, his own horn, and to promote himself. And his AFC buddies give him a platform to do so. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk a little bit about the opposition leader, one of my favorite topics. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton attacked our president recently because he said that our president is, not in these words, of course, I don't have it so I could read it for you verbatimly, but he said he thinks that our president and government is paying too much attention to entertainment. That's what he was inferring. And isn't it strange that this is coming from a political party which all they seem the most important things other than siding with criminals and another example of the PNC, APNU, AFC preferential treatment to criminals. Now they are, and I'm balancing here. There are tons of other persons who could have served in political appointees and career diplomats who could have served as ambassador to Kuwait. The one that was chosen is the one with skeletons in his closet. The one that was chosen was a convicted fraudster. And I keep pointing out to you guys every time, it seems as though, right, the AFC, APNU, PNC always seem to favor criminals more. All right, so let's not forget, and if you can, Dwayne, let's play that video for us, if you can, for me.
Guyanese people want to go put you.
Yes. So that's a little video that was sent to me there about you know, to refute or to speak about this PNC party in Aubrey Norton as its leader, who he now there is an issue. He has an issue now with our president. Says that our president and the government is paying too much emphasis in entertainment. First of all, when his party ruled this country from 2015, we had an unhappy country. People were unhappy. And you see, we all know it. We learn it from small. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. There must be play. We must have our time when we come together and celebrate. Celebrate our holidays, celebrate our culture, celebrate each other, celebrate our community, celebrate our togetherness, celebrate our uniqueness. They must have those times. They must have times when, as a country, we must be able to come together with our government. Come together with our government. So the government is the president over the weekend, I think it was, held a retreat, and he brought some families together, and they went to the Linden Soesdijk Highway, and they put down work. People work hard during while we came to Guyana and we were celebrating Cricket Carnival. In order to make Cricket Carnival a success, an entire government and its support staff had to be working around the clock. Kudos to the police for keeping us safe, the law enforcement for keeping us safe. Kudos to the organizers for bringing off such a massive program, something like that. Thousands and thousands of visitors came to this country. So Cricket Carnival was a huge success, but while we were enjoying, there were people who were working sometimes long hours to make this thing a success. So once it was over, His Excellency decided that, listen, let's do a little retreat. Let's treat families. Let's bring families together and treat them for one day. And the opposition leader had an issue with that. But what the opposition leader, Mr. Aubrey Norton, I don't want to say he forget, because these guys, like I tell you, they are barefaced in their lies and their deception. They don't care whether you find them out to be deceitful or not. They will say what they have to say once it fits their political agenda. Like, for example, they tell you there's apartheid here. They tell you that the PPP is a terrorist party. They tell you all kinds of things. Once it fits their political agenda, they'll say it without one iota of facts to back it. They told you they win the last elections. They will just say it. They have nothing to back it, nothing to support it. And they just say it because once they say it, Valda Lawrence already said you don't question the PNC leader. So once the PNC leader said this is what it is, this is what it is. So you just say it. So this political party said that, government, the president is all about entertainment. He's not getting anything done. Well, I want to say to Aubrey Norton, just take a look outside. Just turn your head left or turn your head right. Or you can make an about turn, or you can just look ahead of you. And you will see the workings of this government, Mr. Norton. But let me remind you, sir, it was your political party siding with criminals again who brought a convicted drug felon to this country right after he was released from prisons and spent $50 million from the government coffers to give free tickets for people to go to party with a convicted felon. Your political party stole our money to fet people. It was your political party, Mr. Aubrey Norton, when every other political party was focused on campaigning to win the 2020 general elections. Your political party was the only political party who was seemed to be more favoring the entertainment part of the political rallies more than getting a political message across. Hence the reason that when you saw the crowds show up at your rallies/concerts, you thought you had the votes. But there were tons of school children there. There were tons of people who were not registered there because they came for the entertainment. It is your political party who left the roads in all your strongholds. Forget about the country. Let's focus first on your strongholds. And I'm not saying that that's how the PPP operate, because the PPP focus on every single corner of this country and ensure the development goes to every single corner of this country. But it was your political party who could have spent that $50 million that you spent on Bujubantan tickets, could have developed one life in Sophia, or one road in Sophia, or one road in All Boys Town, or one or some community there in Linden, or in on the west coast of Berbice or something. But you spend these money, you spend our money, our taxpayers' dollars on bringing a convicted drug runner who had just been released from jail in the United States, and you brought him here. Imagine a man just been released from jail in the United States based on drug charges, drug convictions, not just charges. Because charges, anybody can get charged. Charges does not necessarily mean that you are guilty. When you're guilty is when you're convicted. So he was convicted and spent time in prison, and your political party saw it fit to spend the government money to bring him here to entertain people. Now, I'm not knocking Buju Banton for his musical skills. But the mere idea that he had just been released from prison, and yes, he probably could have been redeemed, because he went to a correctional facility for whatever, and he probably could have been corrected. But for a political party to spend money on that and now to attack the president for bringing families together, to just go to a resort on the Linden Highway and to come together and to celebrate like family-oriented fun. Now your political party seems as though that they're attacking that. And you know the most laughable thing with this PNC, APNU, AFC coalition political party, the most laughable thing I see is that most of the times when they're attacking the government on these issues, they have done worse. They have done worse. Like in the case of Mr. Shamir Ali, former ambassador to Kuwait, he's attacking or charged the affairs in Kuwait because he said, I don't know whether it's true or not, but he said that she did not cover her body properly to attend some function. So he's attacking her based on that, completely forgetting that there's a Kaitro News article out there about his own criminal activities. They refer to him as a convicted fraudster. Aubrey Norton attacking our president for bringing families together for a retreat, while his political party took $50 million from our coffers, from your taxpayers' money, to bring a convicted drug runner to this country. I constantly remind you guys of their seem likeness. Now, and also remember that they lied to you. They lied to you and tell you it was the PNC money until the report came out in the Public Affairs Committee in Parliament. Then is when we found out it was not excuse me, it was not the PNC money, but it was the government of Guyana's money, you and I, our taxpayers' dollar, that brought Buju Banton here. Let us, Dwayne, bring up some of those, all those ads that I sent you. I want to show you how many parties the PNC and their leaders had sponsored during their time to fet people and to enjoy at the expense of you, the taxpayers. Yeah. Yes. So those are some of the things, guys. Look, they're all showing you there because we did our research. We did our research, and these are the ones that we can find, and these are the ones that are directly attached, allegedly directly attached to the PNC. What about those that are, you know, it was not directly attached to the PNC, but maybe just one of the PNC financiers or one of the PNC members that did it on behalf of the PNC? Now, let me make sure that you guys understand that I'm not attacking fetting. I like to fet. As a matter of fact, I was on the street for Carnival, fetting. I like to enjoy myself. I like to have fun. I am a Caribbean man, and as Caribbean people, we come together and we celebrate in a certain way. Like I said before, we celebrate our cultures. On Christmas time, everybody look to celebrate. It doesn't matter whether you're Hindu, Muslim, Rasta, whatever, Christian, we celebrate. Diwali is coming up. Guyanese are going to come together and celebrate Diwali. One of my favorite times to be in Guyana is for Pagua because of how our people come together and celebrate. We like to celebrate in Guyana. We like to celebrate in the Caribbean. That's what we do as Caribbean people. So I'm not attacking that. But when you have skeletons in your closet like Mr. Shamir Ali, you don't come out swinging and attacking people. You have skeletons in your closet and you're attacking the same things and you cannot even defend your own character. When the PNC comes out and they're attacking our president for one day, one part of a day, bringing families together and having family-oriented fun. Young kids get an opportunity to sit down and talk to the president. And it wasn't all fun and games. Some of them had an opportunity to talk to the president and get a word of encouragement from him. Imagine how it lifted that little black girl or little black boy's spirit when they were able to sit right next to the president and talk to the president about what they want to become in life. Imagine what that does for a young boy or girl ego. Imagine when they go back to their communities, how they can excel in class and stuff like that because they were boosted, their ego was boosted. So it wasn't all fun and games. They had an opportunity to sit down with members of the cabinet and to feel a part of to be a part of this country, to feel a part of this country. No separation between government and the people. No separation. The president, and that is why, ladies and gentlemen, you would see continuously they will continue to attack your president, they'll continue to attack your government, and most of the times when they're bringing up these criticisms, they have skeletons in their closet. We can refer to them. I pointed out already to you, right? I pointed out already to you, they talk about an elitist state. Well, I don't know what elitist state you're talking about because I see our president is everywhere, meeting with all the people. He everywhere, every place he there. They broke the bridge, allegedly. He went on the bridge to fix it. There's some issues in Linden. At 4 something in the morning, he went to Linden to make sure that they understand that the president is there with them. Barbie's the same thing. You name it. Essequibo, the same thing. You name it, wherever there's a Guyanese or a Guyanese issue, Irfanali is bound to be there with you guys. Mind you what you had before. Before Irfanali, there was a president by the name of David Arthur Granger. I want them to show me how many of them had an opportunity to sit down next to David Granger. How many of them had an opportunity to have a word with David Granger? How many kids had an opportunity to shake David Granger's hand? How many people were inspired by David Granger going on television or going at any place? And you feel inspired, you feel that your spirit was lifted because of your president, because of his, what is the word? The body language. What's the word for body language? Deportment? How many people can say that? Think about how many hundreds of thousands of people have access now from the entire cabinet, from the president to the prime minister to the vice president to the ministers to every single person that serves in this government is now accessible to the people of Guyana because they are servants of the people. They're no longer rulers of the people. The rulers were removed from office on August 2nd, 2020. They were voted out from office on March 5th, 2020, but they tried to bully their way to stay into power. And then once those rulers were removed, then you had a president, and a president whose number one priority is to serve the people of Guyana regardless which part they are. And he continued to say over and over again and continue to remind us that a Guyanese is a Guyanese full stop, and residency does not determine your level of Guyanesism, for the want of a better word. You're a Guyanese, regardless of where you live, you're Guyanese. So that's all I want to say on the opposition leader. We've got other things that we have to talk about him, but I'm going to save that for when for another program. But we also want to talk about the rice eater a little bit. You know, that's my favorite subject. The rice eater seemed to be, if you notice, there's been a change. The big bad wolf is no longer the big bad wolf. Now he's talking about God. Every day you hear him talking about God, and God is on his side and stuff like that. Well, God does not like ugly. I mean, I'm not purporting to be no Christian or no preacher or anything here. But based on all the teachings that I heard, he does not like ugly. And whatever is out there for you is on its way. I'm going to take a call since we have some time. I'll take a call and then we'll continue here. Let's see what this caller has for us tonight. Caller, good evening. You're live.
Hi, good night. I want to hear your take on about the NDC. I think the NDC doing a very bad job. We should get rid of the NDC.
Which one of the NDCs?
And
which one of the NDCs, sir?
I think all of the NDC do.
Come on, man. Come on.
Because all the time I listen to your program, most of the people are calling out about the NDC, this not fixed, that not fixed. And they didn't know where to go to. So we should get rid of the NDC.
So let me ask you a question. Give me reasons for wanting us to get rid of the NDC. You give me some reasons.
In Region 6.
Region 6, yes. Yes.
Because if someone they have a problem in Region 6, they don't know where to go to. Because NDC is not working.
Why are you saying the NDC is now?
NDC make the government look bad.
Why are you saying that? I'm asking you a question now, sir. Why are you saying that the NDC in Region 6 does not work? Give me reasons for that accusation.
Okay. One time time I listen to your program, a man calling from New York or whatsoever, telling you that some damn bad and they don't know what to go to, and he is praying to someone in the government to listen, to go fix or hear his complaint. So that's one fine. So you don't have to someone to listen into the program.
But you cannot paint everything with a broad brush, sir. Now there might be some NDCs that are not performing up to standard, but not because of damning fixing and want to disband NDCs on the whole. You understand me? So there are some NDCs that are run by PNC. There are some NDCs that are run by PPP.
This is my
you
point.
understand?
I want to come to. This is my point. I want to come to.
Come to it.
So, like, you live in New York, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's any village around your where you live in? You live in a town, right?
I live in a city. Yeah.
A city.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatsoever you are, a city, a town, or so there's no village around you.
Yeah. There are villages, yes. But what are you trying to get at?
I'm trying to get like they should take like these like 15 to 10 villages and turn it over into town. So the people in the villages can vote for a mayor. And if the mayor don't perform, they vote him out. So they don't know.
But it's the same thing with the NDCs. You vote for the NDCs, you vote for chairman.
Yeah, the regional chairman. That's like control.
No, you vote for NDC chairman too. The NDC persons in the NDC are elected persons. They have to be voted in. That's why you have some is run by PNC, you have some run by PVP. I think AFC probably run one or two of them.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know that in the village or live in the village. You know,
So I hear what I'm going to take away from this, and it's always good to learn. Here's what I'm going to take away from this. We need to educate our people on the role of the NDCs. But don't say that we disband them just like that. We need to educate our people on the role of the NDCs, and once our people start approaching the NDCs for them to carry out their duties, when they're failing to do so, then is when we talk about that NDC. Fair enough?
Because, yeah, I understand, but most of the NDCs have failed because the government do it.
Sir, you're painting everybody with you're painting everybody with one brush there again. And like I said, NDCs are not. It's not a uniform body. NDCs are elected by the people, and NDCs. You have NDCs that are run that have different agenda. You understand me? But let me take another call, sir. I appreciate your call, though. Thank you very much. Okay.
Take care. You have a nice day.
Thank you very much. All right. So let's take another call. Good evening, caller. You're live.
Yes, may I speak to Mr. Ossie Rodgers?
You are speaking to Rodgers, and you're on. We can hear you live. So. But you gotta listen to me on the phone that you're talking to me to, because there's a delay if you try to listen to us on what you're watching us on.
I'm watching you on TV right now, Mr. Ossie. I'm calling from Canada.
Yeah. So go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I can't listen. Okay, Mr. Ossie, a guy called you and told you about Region 6 that the local authority there is not functioning properly, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a broad general statement. It wasn't anything to point any, there wasn't any evidence to back up that accusation.
I came back from Guyana 6 months ago, more than 6 months ago, right? I spent 6 months there. I tried to return to do some business there.
Mm-hmm.
My property there was the command center for the PPP. I give them my property as the command center. It's on the main road right opposite where they buried Dr. Chetty Jagger.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
They asked me to give them my place or give it to them because nobody was giving them a place. I give them mine, and they promised me they will be looking after all the problems that's around that area I've been complaining for 23 years about. I know they weren't in power at a certain time and they couldn't do certain things.
Right.
But they promised me they were going to take care of all these flood problems we had there, and what happened, the trench have a breach, the main canal that the water comes in from the Amazon and goes to the sea through the pump, right?
From the Amazon.
Now, that's on the main highway, the main road. Now, my property is in the main road too. Beside my property, there's a reserve there, and that reserve has collapsed 20-something years ago, And every time the water comes up on the trench, it floods that whole place up. Alligator goes in there. Kamudi, we got it all. We got Kamudi there. We got alligator there, snakes there, everything there.
Right.
Now, people live around there. It damaged people's crops also. If you looked at, I think on the Facebook, the Agriculture Minister, Mr. Mustafa came, and he inspected that area with me. You will see me there with him. My name is Mr. Stephen Babulal.
Okay, sir.
And they came there because the people are complaining about their drainage problem all the way in the back. And
right.
They said some drain ran through my property, right? But that is my private property. Now, I was willing to give them a drain to run through there. They came, they looked at it, and when they did their measurement, they say that property is my property, and they cannot run through no drain there, although I give them permission to do it.
Right.
If they want to help the people at the back. Now, Mr. Mustafa came, Mr. Ramjatan came first of all. He came, and then Mr. Mustafa came after they saw this thing on TV. Because I think this guy from that doctor that resigned the other day,
Ramaya.
what's his name?
Ramaya.
From quarantine. Yeah, Ramaya.
Uh-huh.
Right. He resigned the other day because he came first and looked at all this problem. Then, when nothing was being done, Mr. Ranjatan came. I didn't call them. These people called them, not me.
Right. So we're almost run out of time. So I'm trying to get you to wrap up.
Yeah. Well, anyway, a day I complained to them, and I left Guyana and I came back. And up to now, because my bridge, they damaged my bridge also. They damaged it when they were trying to fill up the land there, and they left my bridge like that. They promised me to fix it. It's never fixed until today. Also, that land that's washed away, it's not fixed until today, and they promised to fix it when the weather get dry. So, if you can look into it, sir, I would appreciate if you'll call them, because I called Mr. Mustafa's office, and the man told me they're trying to see what we can do about it. But it's over 6 months now, sir, so I don't know what they're doing.
I'll talk to Minister Mustafa, find out about the issue, and I'll probably have some information for you on our next program.
Sir, and I met him 3 times, and I discussed this matter with him, and I'm coming back into Guyana next month again. Because I have a property that I'm trying to do a business there. All
right. So I appreciate your call, and it's a genuine concern. I'm happy that the agriculture minister has already been engaged. So once I approach him about the issue, he will definitely know where we stand. So maybe I'll be able to give you.
Yes, and I spoke to Mr. Ashraf, who assists him in the office, and he told me they're looking into it right now.
All right.
But you know something? They've been telling me that almost a year now.
All right, sir. So let's see how much action we can get for you. Okay.
Okay, you have my number, sir. You can feel free to call me back if you have any.
No problem. I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rodgers.
I've been
watching your show every time. Every week I watch your show.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. And make sure you share the video also,
good
okay?
Show. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, I know that we spend a lot of time talking about the convicted felon, Mr. Ali. We spent some time talking. I should have opened the telephone line a little bit earlier, but sometimes when you open the telephone line, then we start talking about other things, and then I forget what I really want to talk about. So forgive me. On Thursday, we're back here again, and we're gonna definitely take your calls and read some of your messages and everything else. We certainly appreciate your company. Look forward to talking to you again. Thank you very much to all of you who took the time out to share our video. Thank you very much to all of you who've spent this time with us, but our time is gone, and now it's the time for me to say goodbye to you. So on the behalf of our technical team at Daybreak News and the Guyanese Critic Facebook page, on behalf of our technical team there at Sky TV New York, and of course over there in Canada, Caribbean Showtime. My name is Ossie Rodgers saying thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to talk to you again on our next program. Have a very pleasant evening. Goodbye.